So for me, architecture was, I think it went back as far as secondary school when I was doing all the reading for sciences and all of that. What I first of all noticed that what kept me up at night was when I had to do drawings, engineering drawings, architectural drawings. It's almost like machines. Machines don't have the same sides, the top, the side and all. So what they do is that for intro tech, they used to give us two sides and tell us to now imagine what the other sides look like and draw it. So that was where it started, because you begin to use your imagination to think of something that is nothing and try to put several things together. So that really helped me, and I think my teachers at that point, we had some open days, and my father came around and they were like, look, it looks like this is what this guy has to do, because there's that imaginative part. There's also good in mathematics, further maths and all of that. So the idea behind it was, even when we had to study, that was the only thing that kept me up at night. Just imagine secondary school, JS3, JS2, SS1. You stay up at night and you had that alert to go the next day, and you don't even feel it. It's not a chore. I mean, you imagine your parents coming down and saying, are you still here at that time? Our kids of nowadays are not really doing that, but you can imagine the thought process. So he even knew that, look, there's something that keeps you up. It's not the reading, it's not the... So I think that's where the imaginative part came from. So I knew what I was going to do in university. I knew it was going to be architecture. But the idea was just me being fascinated with bringing something out of nothing, trying to imagine things out. And even in architecture school, even though, school itself might not really give you that full push towards architecture, because it might be a bit discouraging, because it's not the real life. But what really happened was I now began to have that interest in real estate itself, because I felt you will deal with clients to tell you what they want as an architect. But if you really want to drive change and actually build your own buildings and do your own designs, I felt it was real estate. So I even knew from the architectural school that I was going to do real estate or property development generally. So learn how it's done around the world, see how you can pick on things. But I think most importantly, when I worked with one of the most prestigious and well-to-do architectural firms, Jide Adekola, I think what caught me then was I was looking at the clients that are paying the bills. And I realized that they're the ones really calling the shots. So if you had a client that was giving you 5, 10, 6, 7 jobs, that client was the one that is what he wants you would do, regardless of how you feel your design has to be a certain way. So that now drew my attention to, if you don't like what you're designing for this client and you just have to do it, then why don't you be the client? And that's how this whole thing came about. But I think generally, architecture generally is just that whole idea of designing something out of nothing, being creative, thinking about the future, thinking about what works, building spaces for people, thinking about how the space management is, thinking about how it's comfortable. And for me, I see that the beauty was not so much about money, but it was about actually delivering to the taste of the person that has engaged you. And that was where true fulfillment really came from. So architecture, basically, I think that's where it started from, and I enjoyed it all the way. It's not a tough thing for me. It's something I think about, something I dream about, something I wake up to say, oh guys, you need to change this, you need to change that. You're thinking about the work you're working on, and then you come back and say, I can't wait to tell the architects to change all of this. And I think once all those things are coming from within, then it's less of a chore, it's less of a job. It's more of your passion, kind of. So I think that's basically.